In a world of rumors and reckless talk, one woman stands for truth. She doesn't speculate. She cross-examines. The courtroom is her kingdom, and justice wears heels.
Order in the court, let the facts be seen. Melissa Jade on the mic, call her crime scene queen. She don't do drama, she don't do lies. Every case get clean when she analyze. Cross that line, she'll object real quick. Logic so tight, it cut like a brick. Beautiful mind with a presence so loud. When she speaks, you can feel the whole room bow. Room bow, room bow.
She studies every angle, every word, every lie. And when she speaks, it's not emotion, it's evidence.
No hearsay, just receipts on the table. She don't need fiction, truth's her label. Courtroom lights, glow her heels, click steady. Whole jury leaning like, man, we ready. They talk nonsense, she calls it out clear. Confident, strong, you can feel that in the air. She got the law locked and the facts in sway. Another case closed the Melissa J. way.
They came with theories, she came with proof. They had opinions, she had the truth. They had the theories, she came with proof. They had opinions, she had the
Beauty don't fade when the brain got bite. She shine like a verdict red late at night. Smart, bold, blow loud and still so graceful. Every sentence sharp and tasteful.
Some say justice is blind, but when Melissa Jade steps in, justice sees clearly.
Yeah, she walked through lies like a gavel crack. Truth in her voice, ain't no turning back. Debunking myths with a lawyer's flair. She don't chase clout, she builds it there. Applause in the chat, they know her name. Melissa Jade, she don't play games. Beautiful, brilliant, truth unafraid. Bow to the queen of facts, Melissa Jade.
The verdict is in, and the truth has a name. Melissa Jade. Melissa Jade.
Hello, everybody. Happy Hump Day. Welcome, Steph. Thanks for becoming a member. Welcome, welcome. Hey, South Florida Thrifter who says, oh my God, this is going to take 20 live streams and I'm here for every single second. I'm excited. Listen, it's her own words. She's deleted them. I'm intrigued. Now I'm intrigued. Now I got to go through all of them. Hi, Dan. Yes, these are going to be great. I'm so excited. Hi, Rainbow Bright, Jen, Marie Joey, MSL. Oh, yay. We missed you too. We have Maddie, Delaney, Kimberly, Bible Lady, DMNMT. It's only 3:30. Ugh. I know I'm on East Coast time. Hi, Fragile Like a Bomb. Hi, Taz. It's Kirsten Lee. I need to renew my membership when I get home. Having a difficult time doing it on my iPhone. Dude, iPhone makes it so difficult, but they redid their thing now to where it should be easy to become a member. Thanks, Tess. Hi, Callie Lisa. Ready for more Lorelai's? I know. We got Kelly with the birthday hat. For shiggles. Yay. I'm so happy, Steph. Hi, Freak Vamp. Yes, hi, Harper's Nana. Chris Jenner, welcome. You're arriving on time now when the stream starts. Hi, Jane Jones. These are Unhinged. That's right up my alley. I love Unhinged. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Tina P. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So we are going to continue. Hi, Sheebs. To go down and read all of these. That's going to take a while, but that's okay. I want to read every single. By the time Laura's trial starts in January, I'm hoping to get as close to caught up as we can. So we essentially have 2 months hustling, 2 months if everything goes okay and the trial proceeds in January like it's supposed to. So we got to hustle on this, okay? So let's jump right into it. We read the first Medium post at the end of the last episode of this series for anybody who wasn't here. So we're going to continue and start with the second post and just continue from there. Hi, Coffee and Skeletons. With the added 7 charges, it will likely be pushed. It most likely will be because they're most likely going to combine them, which that's okay as long as it's not pushed. But here's the thing. In court time, pushing it 6 months isn't long. In our time, it's like, 6 months, you know. Hi, Jade. Hi, Claudia. So we're going to go and get our missing child for the stream. I think I did Georgia today. So here is our missing child. Hey, some golf girl. Hi, Solo Angel. Nope, right here, Solo Angel. So our missing child is Davana Sherelle Williams. Has been missing since November 7th, 2025. So 5 days out of Jonesboro, Georgia. 17 years old. She was last seen on November 7th, 2025. So if you or anyone who knows information on Davana's whereabouts, please contact. Oh, how strange. Please contact Clayton County Police Department at 1-770-477-3648. How strange. Right? You know what, Chris? You're probably right, but it depends on how they're presenting their case. It may not be presented on a chronological timeline regarding, hey, this is what happened with Laura and Clayton, and this is how she lied. Versus this is what's happened between Laura and Greg. And this is how it may be presented differently to where it wouldn't be confusing because they're focusing solely on the actions itself and what she was charged with individually. You know what I mean? But I don't know how they're presenting their case. That you were found guilty for yeah, that's true, Chris. That's true. Hey, Deb Lee. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to continue on. But this is so strange. The Clayton County Police Department. Go figure. Okay. All right. So, did I exit out? No. Okay. Let me jump back. Go into the archive. Okay. So this is the first Medium post we read. So I got to jump back and jump back. Okay. So we're moving on to the second post. The second post is, oh, damn. What? How does that work? Hold on. How did that work? Go to the Medium blogs. Unveiling the unbearable. How do I get it, though? Okay. Wait. No, not okay. How do I? One second. Okay, deleted their account. Okay, I get that, but if it's not pulled up on the way back machine. Okay, here we go. So this is the second Medium post that was made. Hi, Carolyn Cooper. Oh, and hi, Neat Noodle. You are granted your tardy slip. I posted on Patreon because I decided what our next Patreon conspiracy live is going to be. And yes, we're going to be doing, I know Tess is going to be joining me. We're going to do Bohemian Grove. But the very next one we're going to do is the Philadelphia experiment for and USS Elridge. And when the government tried to make an entire ship disappear. Sorry, it's just crazy to say out loud because it's true. And the theories around what happened to USS Elridge. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out over on Patreon. Hi, Sarah Bellum. Thank you, Jade. Yes. Okay. You did, Tess? Oh, that's so funny. The reason that it popped back up in my head is because I've been going down the Stranger Things rabbit hole. And there is the backstory for Stranger Things. And there's a whole synopsis that ties into Dr. Brenner's dad being on the USS Elridge, and it ties into like the Upside Down and where the powers originated from and stuff like that. And so I'm like, yo, I don't even know why I didn't even think about covering the Philadelphia experiment. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. So here we are. This is going to be the second one. What? Where'd it go? I just had it up. Hold on. I swear. Hold on. I just had it up. Like, what happened there? What number fudge just happened? Okay, here it is again. What? Wait, why does that happen? Why does it go away? Okay, there we go. Don't leave. I'm nervous to like go and share the screen now. Okay, here we go. Thanks, Layla. Welcome. Hi, Tobeans. Hi, Nicola. All right, so her second Medium post, and again, hey, help! Can someone help? Why does it keep vanishing? Hold on, let me go back up because I know Jade told me you have to select the internet is forever link, not the actual article. Okay. Hold on. The internet is forever link. Okay. Where do I find such a link? Internet is forever link. Hey, Jade, can you help? The Curse of Laura. Yeah, I could click them and then it pops up and then it disappears. Oh, sure, Kris Jenner. I would love it. Please do. I think this is the first one I didn't have to use the Wayback Machine. This one I do. So I don't know why. But yeah, if you have them, I would love it. How strange. I guess if it starts with that URL, I don't see internet is forever. I mean, I could skip over the second one, but I don't want to skip over the second one. My email is right here. MelissaJade1220@gmail.com. Thank you. Hey, Medusa. Okay. But that's really weird that it allows you to open it and then it's like, nah, just kidding. See? It allows me to open it, but I guarantee it's about to just pop away. Oh, okay, now you're gonna make me look like a liar, I guess. No. What's happening? What's happening? Do you guys see this too? What's Laura? I think I'll just wait for Kris Jenner to send me the other link because this is bugging me out. You guys see what's happening, right? It's not just me. Is Laura glitching on your Is Laura glitching on your guys' screen too? My whole web bar too, it's going crazy. It looks fine? Wait, it looks fine for you guys? My whole brow, everything. I can't even move it. That's so strange. This is Laura. So this is when you say her name 3 times. I'm telling you. Okay, chill out, Laura. Chill out. Whoa. Okay. Okay. So she posted this December 8th, 2023. And he titles it Unveiling the Unbearable, My Battle Against Cyberbullying and Online Harassment. So she writes, it was incredibly hard to put this into words and share what's been going on. I've never asked my friends or family for emotional support, but I'm feeling truly shattered, defeated, mentally drained, and worthless due to the events of these past several months. I have been the subject of a smear campaign that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, and the target of cyberbullying, cyber harassment, and cyber stalking at a level that I think no one would believe was imaginable. My heart has been torn to shreds, and it seems like nobody beyond my family truly sees or understands who I am anymore. Maybe that's my fault, since the sheer embarrassment of it all has been so overwhelming that I found myself hiding from the world. Boo fucking who? She's really dramatic. She's really dramatic. The Medium blogs are all archived by specialists. Like, you mean like specialists in the field, or a specialist like a channel? I'm so sorry. I want to give credit to the specialist. I don't know if that's like a channel though, or you mean like people who specialize in archiving? That must be it, HF. Hey, Chief. And hi, Bruce, by the way. It's very good to see you. Yes, my email's right here. MelissaJade1220@gmail. So it goes on to state, since around mid-September, I've been noticeably absent from social media and pretty much detached from the life that I used to lead. I can count on one hand the times I've stepped out of my home since then, but the number of times I've found myself in tears is beyond calculation. Earlier this morning, around 4:30, I found myself on the floor. Girl, now we know that's a lie because we saw that body cam footage, okay? And you had 0 room on the floor. 0. Like, so we know you're lying right there. Hey, harlot, drive safe. Drive safe. So she's like, I found myself on the floor, overwhelmed with emotions, feeling more bullied and alone than I've ever felt. It struck me that maybe it's time to stop concealing what I've desperately tried to keep under wraps for months now. I've come to understand that by not being public about what I'm struggling with, I've made this battle harder for myself. It's now abundantly clear that the only way to stand up to bullies is by confronting them directly. I know that some of you, thank you, Chris. Thank you. I know that some of you caught wind of the rumors that I got pregnant by a former reality star. He had briefly been my real estate agent. Bitch, briefly. He was your real estate agent for 4 hours before you fucked. So yeah, briefly is an understatement. But do carry on, Laura. So he had briefly been my real estate agent. And during a May evening, our professional dealings turned into something a bit more personal. Following 3 positive pregnancy tests, one taken at home, another at an urgent care center, and the final one done in his presence, it was evident that I was indeed expecting. Soon after, I discovered I was pregnant with twins, and I knew with 100% certainty that he was the father. He was the father, you guys. Well, that's kind of impossible given that you didn't have sex, but again, I digress. Okay. He went radio silent when it came time to take a paternity test. Despite my persistent requests, 29 times to be exact, at a lab he had selected previously. When he finally responded, he dared me to reach out to the tabloids, a move I knew would compel him to comply with the test. Before the news hit the public, I pleaded with the media to keep my identity under wraps, and they agreed. However, their description of me as the anonymous woman contained enough details for those familiar with me to make connections and for strangers to track me down online. Wait, that one sentence contradicts itself, okay? So let's reverse there for a second. The details they shared when referring to this anonymous woman allowed those familiar with you to figure it out that it's you, Laura. And then allowed strangers who weren't familiar with you to track you down. How'd they know? Okay, let's for 1 second believe people in your actual inner circle read this random tabloid and was able to figure out that's you, Laura. What about the random strangers? That doesn't even make any sense, but okay, I'm just going to roll with it. Like many, I was familiar with Reddit before news about my pregnancy became public, but I had no grasp of the level of dedication its members had. Shortly after the initial articles surfaced, a friend reached out, informing me that self-proclaimed sleuths were actively discussing and mentioning me by name in subreddits centered around the reality show that this man starred in. There was a barrage of misinformation circulating, and initially I wrote back. Yeah, I know. I wrote back, but to correct those who were getting the facts twisted. However, these so-called keyboard warriors, shielded by anonymous usernames, only seemed to intensify their interest in my life once they knew I was engaging with them. Things took a truly devastating turn when an abusive ex decided to reach out to him, telling him that I had done this before. He was referring to 2 prior pregnancies, a part of my life that I've guarded fiercely, not just from the wider audience I'm speaking to now, but from everyone. Rather than having a private discussion with me about it, he broke the news to his hundreds of thousands of followers. And Redditors, like relentless detectives, latched on to this snippet of my personal history. They dove deep into my life, tearing through layers I desperately wanted to keep hidden. And truth be told, deservedly so. My life was becoming a mere public spectacle, and it caught the eye of a reality TV content creator named Dave, a major figure on Reddit, who has completely turned my world upside down. So pause. Again, she is constantly contradicting herself between I wanted to keep it anonymous. I didn't want my name out there. Yet at the same time, I willingly put my name out there, but I had to correct the narrative. People were getting the information wrong. Oh, they knew who I was. It's no. Laura, hi, Boots. Yeah, Tess, she brought it public, but she justifies bringing it public, and it doesn't count in Laura's mind. So she continues. Here, I'll move this so it's not okay. Dave has blatantly victim shamed me for my sorry, I lost it there. Dave has blatantly victim shamed me for my reproductive decisions, stating that my life would hold no interest for him if it weren't for 2 prior abortions. The source of the misinformation he's spreading traces back to 2 men I'd been pregnant by before. Their animosity against me, triggered by the restraining orders I have against them, is the driving force behind the distorted tales being circulated about me, and ones they have shared with Dave. They supplied him with court documents containing entirely baseless, never seriously considered by a judge claims about me, which Dave has disseminated as if they were factual. Although their accusations were unequivocally untrue, they were mortifyingly embarrassing and not something I wanted anyone to know. My decision to stay silent inadvertently bolstered Dave's platform, giving him free rein to harass me without facing any consequences. Bitch, you're dramatic. Sorry, because again, it's contradicting. It's giving contradiction to me, because if you're saying, oh, well, me being anonymous bolstered him, while at the same time saying he was destroying me. Who? If you were anonymous, whose reputation was being destroyed anyway? Ah. Hey, Wolfie. The allegations they had previously made against me in response to cases I filed against them were horrendous, alleging that I falsified my pregnancies, tampered with records regarding my past pregnancies, and fabricated the severity of the injuries I sustained due to abuse. In a desperate effort to get him to stop spreading false and extremely damaging information about me, I offered to sign a release to have my previous pregnancy records sent directly to him from my providers. Hold on. Wait a second. Hold on. So, man spreading lies, man destroying reputation, man taunting you, bullying, inciting harassment, hate. I'm going to send this man a direct link to my patient portal with my privileged medical information. That sounds great, Laura. Yup. That's not a fucking triangle trying to fit into a circle or nothing. That fits perfectly. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I sent him proof that I was one of only 630 patients. No, she didn't. I'm sorry. This is new to me. I sent him proof that I was only one of only 630 patients accepted into the domestic violence brain injury program at Barrow Neurological Institute, the only one of its kind in the nation, as a result of multiple strangulation injuries, resulting in me developing epilepsy. However, he ignored my offers, revealing that he cared little for the truth. So she did claim that she got epilepsy as a result of the domestic violence. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Okay. Okay. Wow. I didn't even know that was really a thing, but okay. Dave's motivation in continuing to create content about me has been the massive surge in viewers and listeners on his monetized platforms by peddling sensationalized, entirely untrue tales about my life. He claims that he doesn't take a shit without monetizing it. Did he say that? Hey, Samantha. And so his motivation is clearly financial. Every creator on YouTube is here for monetary gain. Like, some are absolutely more so driven for it. But for the most part, if you have a platform, you're doing it for a reason. And again, that doesn't mean everyone is nasty and pushes lies and, exploits. But yeah, the purpose is to grow and to do good and monetize and like, come on. She wrote, Dave puts out so much content that it feels like doing damage control is a full-time job. He posts 3 shows, usually one about me, 2 YouTube and 2 podcasts a day. Each time it sparks a fresh wave of discussions that only add more fuel to this never-ending fire. Well, not everyone has a casita in back of mommy and daddy's house to live in. Just saying. Not everyone is privileged to the point where you don't have to work because you're set up and you could spend your day and night doing this type of shit. Some of us have actual bills, but do go on, Laura. Dave's enormous following on Reddit has made my life incredibly difficult. They've created countless threads in reality TV related subreddits, and in the ultimate showing of targeted harassment, one person even went as far as creating a subreddit in my name just to bully me. Welcome to the internet, Laura. I was taken aback when I read a post purported to be from a high school peer with outrageously far-fetched and blatantly false allegations, claiming that during that time, I was pregnant by multiple men, including a special needs student and fathers of my peers. One fabricated story claimed that my father offered one student $6,000 to buy new speakers for his car if he would date me for a month. What? What? Okay. I can't speak to that. That's before my time, man. The reality was quite different. I was extremely introverted throughout high school. I never attended a party, and I had my first kiss during the week of graduation. That explains a lot. Hold on, that explains a lot. Your first kiss? Okay. All right, I'm not judging, just a little bit. These claims hold no resemblance to reality, yet they have left me feeling utterly powerless and deeply ashamed. It feels as though the reputation I painstakingly built and every achievement I've held dear have been ruthlessly torn apart and relentlessly mocked in profoundly disheartening posts. The comments said about me have been brutal, such as, quote, I hope she's an organ donor so something good can come out of her pathetic existence. And that I am a complete waste of skin and bones. I've been told to kill myself, with comments suggesting it might help my family move past the supposed disgrace they claim I've brought upon them. My dad's Wikipedia has even been edited several times by trolls to date. He has only one daughter, my sister. Oh, that's a longer troll. Who does that? You can you can edit the Wikipedia. Sorry, I do not support anything that, like, crosses into the real life stuff, but that's really funny if they yeah, Samantha, that's really cold if they add, because the thing is that you, like, when you do a troll like that, there's no guarantee of when Laura will eventually see that. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to sit there and wait and just eventually take satisfaction in knowing that at some point she may stumble upon that. But that's a cold one to do. Change it. He only has one daughter. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, I can't wait, Ajad. I can't wait. When did she delete these, by the way? Can they some golf girl? I didn't know that. Carol Cooper. Like, I love that bothered her. Yeah, that's a patient troll. He's a loving father of one daughter. You probably pissed her off so much. Okay. Dave claims to have only referred to me by Jane Doe, but my name has appeared in his content many times, and his fixation on me has reached the level of an obsession. Since September, he's churned out over 50 videos about me, boldly claiming that the count might escalate to, quote, more than 140 as he continues to probe into my life. Moreover, he's generated well over 100 hours of podcast content solely focused on me and actively pursued opportunities to appear on any podcasts, offering to fly anywhere in the country to do so because he is so eager to discuss my life through his lens of lies. I would be lying if I said I wasn't afraid of Dave. During one of his live streams, he inadvertently displayed a map leading to my home. What? I know you guys are going to give me the real scoop on that. I highly doubt he inadvertently, accidentally showed a fucking treasure map that X marked the spot perfectly on your house. like what was it? Was there like little footprints leading up to your house? How did it lead to your house? Okay. In an interview just this week, his comments became even more alarming as he said he wished I had been a passenger on the missing Malaysian Flight 370. Adding insult to injury, he shamelessly exhibited a picture of me in a bra with an exposed pregnant belly during one of his episodes. When I requested its removal, he callously dismissed my concerns, laughing as he told his audience, bra or no bra. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to laugh. Bra or no bra, who cares? He's joked about me having a miscarriage, which is something that is not remotely funny. All right, let me be clear. When I'm giggling, I'm just hearing this all for the first time, okay? And reading it out loud. I don't know what is an actual quote and what's not an actual quote. But my goodness, okay. As a last resort, I filed for an injunction. She did? Sorry. She filed for an injunction against harassment against Dave Neal. My gosh. I filed an injunction against harassment against Dave due to his obsessive interest in me and his flat out refusal to stop making videos and podcasts about me when asked. Stop, pause. He doesn't have to. As long as he's not threatening or defaming or straight up harassing, he is allowed to make content about you. You are a limited public figure. Period. However, when I informed him that he would be served by a process server, he turned the tables. Deceptively, he began painting himself as fearful of me. His followers swiftly joined in, spreading these unfounded notions that I might pose a threat. I've been called unhinged an innumerable amount of times, and his followers have posted countless times that I need to be institutionalized. It's been outrageous, entirely unwarranted, and incredibly upsetting. Listen, I could call you a lot worse. That's pretty grounded for me. My physical appearance has been a relentless subject of mockery. Multiple memes have been created emphasizing my looks and targeting me with hurtful comments about my looks. Don't go and look at the comments. That's a choice. Again, this is the internet. The internet is going to do what the internet does. That doesn't make everything that happens on the internet okay, not by any means, but it's a choice to log on and go and see it. It's a choice to go and look. If it's not good for your mental health, don't look. People claim to be stunned that he chose to be intimate with me for just one night after having numerous beautiful women to select from during this time as the lead on a romance reality show. He himself mentioned that He himself mentioned I didn't look as pretty as I appeared in some Instagram photos he scrolled through. Yeah, he did. He straight up said, like, I'm not attracted to you sober. Like, it was brutal. I thought that maybe if I were able to change my identity on the outside, I might get back to feeling like myself on the inside. What? What? Maybe if you change your identity on the outside, I'll feel more like myself. If anything, that's going to make you feel less like yourself. Okay. After a lot of thought, I decided to file for a legal name change. No, you didn't. Which was discovered by Dave the day after I filed the petition with the court. And my new identity as Emily Wilson was disclosed to his audience, making it obsolete. I felt like I had run out of ideas to escape the relentless nightmare I was living in. She was trying to become Emily Wilson. Wilson. Oh no. My integrity is everything to me. I have never lied about being pregnant or about the extent of the abuse I've suffered, and I have medical records to support both claims. I sought an order of protection against the man who impregnated me. Despite limiting my communication to only sending him pregnancy updates. Psh, girl, come on. Interestingly, a month later, he obtained an injunction against harassment against me. Can you believe it? Girl, that was not just pregnancy updates. Dave's followers have chosen to write my full name on Reddit and in the comment section on his YouTube videos because they say that in doing so, they will alter the SEO algorithm so that these blatant lies about me are shown at the top of Google search results. He has incited hatred, harassment, and threats against me, and I am just exhausted from it all. For these last few months, I've often questioned, what is the allure of a 33-year-old woman confirmed to be pregnant 3 times to him and his audience? How much more content can he create? And how much more can I take? Although I would be more than entitled to file a defamation lawsuit against Dave, I have no desire to have my life drained by the legal system and simply want him to stop and just remove the videos. If you want to, sorry, it's the bold. If you want to watch how cruelly and flat out bizarrely Dave has spoken to and about me, you can watch this video. It's the bold for me. It's the bold. I'm sure Is that a clickable thing? Oh, it is. Okay. I'm sure this post will spark more hateful content from Dave, and he will incite his followers to make more cruel comments about me. Despite outwardly claiming to my family that I've become desensitized to anything that can be said to me about that can be said about me at this point, Dave's videos still deeply affect me, as do the words of his supporters. While I know I will advocate against cyberbullying in the future, right meow, I just wish for this torment to stop. His relentless bullying has pushed me to the brink, causing moments where I felt close to the edge of despair. I've even expressed to him that the blood would be on his hands if I harmed myself due to his relentless harassment, but it had no impact on him. It just provided him with something else to talk about on his shows. And why would he stop talking about me? Spreading misinformation generates profit for him, and that appears to be his sole concern. It's an ongoing struggle to try to rise above this situation. My life has changed after witnessing how cruel people can be. And while I'm a changed person after all of this, how could I not be? I still want to be Laura Owens, not Emily Wilson. I'm anxious about how people might perceive me once I share my story. But holding all of this inside hurts. In the face of relentless cyberbullying. I yearn for the torment to cease, hoping that someday my story will speak louder than the falsehoods, and the strength I find within will reclaim the identity they sought to shatter. She's too much, okay? Like, she's doing the most. Holy macaroni. She really is. She's really doing the most. Ooh. That's where, sorry. Kris Jenner, this is where I was getting it from. Anyway, on the Victims of Laura Owens page, but number 2, for whatever reason, was bringing me to the Wayback Machine. But thank you so much. But yes, this is where I was playing it from. I don't think the other ones are going to be an issue, though. Oh, hold on. I wanted to see what video was so bad. Oh, never mind. I can't. Tricked me. Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, 2024. The night things changed. February 8th, 2024. This was posted. I've been forced to break my silence. Bitch, you've been talking since 2023. What do you mean? This is now 2024. No, yo, stop glitching. Why does it always do that? Chill, yo, chill. I know this is Laura. Okay. No, not okay. What in the Elmer flood is happening? Okay. I've been forced to break my silence. Last night, something happened that I never imagined could be part of my reality. Threats against me and those I hold dear were articulated with chilling specificity and malice, all stemming from a smear campaign orchestrated by a content creator who has turned my life into a spectacle for profit. Crazy. I'll find you and all my will shoot you. Justice for name of content creator. One message read, another ominously targeting my mother. These threats were not mere acts of internet cruelty. They were the direct outcome of his relentless use of my story for financial gain. Okay, Bruce. Thank you. The safety of my family, once taken for granted, is now compromised. Our lives overturned by a narrative spun by a total stranger. What I want to say, though, is yes, you can have an army with a following. I won't deny that. But at the same time, you're not accountable for what random accounts comment. Like, and again, I know there's a little bit of gray area because you could argue you've incited, but at the end of the day, you cannot be accountable for what someone leaves in a comment. 6 months of turmoil. For 6 excruciating months, this content creator has been the conductor of a relentless smear campaign against me, pulling strings and painting me as the villain in a story so twisted from reality, it's unrecognizable. He has made videos about me at least once daily, and sometimes more than that. He has leveraged lies sourced from those with vendettas against me, men I have restraining orders against, and told their stories as if they were the victims. He's spun these fabrications into hundreds of hours of content, with each video, each post, not just an attack on my reputation, but a considerable source of revenue for him. My attempts to seek help include desperate 911 calls, have been obtained by his cult-like following, and have been twisted into entertainment for an audience that revels in my distress. This relentless assault has devastated my mental health and halted my professional life. His refusal to halt his attackers or remove the harmful content, my sole request, has left me with no choice but to pursue legal action for defamation, invasion of privacy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. But the real wake-up call came last night, proving that the stakes are far higher than reputational damage or court battles. This is about survival. A desperate plea. In response to the threats received, my family reached out to the law enforcement. Then I reached out directly to the content creator, appealing to his humanity. I shared the threats verbatim, hoping the explicit calls for violence against me and my family, echoing his own hashtag, would be a wake-up call. I pleaded with him. The level of hatred you... Hold on, is there more to that? Is there more to that? I pleaded with him. The level of hatred you... That's it. That really is it. Is that really it? Or was there more? Wait, was there more at the time? Can someone let me know? Or was that just it? I pleaded with him, the level of hatred you... Just end scene. End scene. I don't know. That's all that's on this one. Sharing my story isn't about seeking sympathy. It's about reclaiming power, standing up against online abuse, and empowering others along the way. I kind of like how that one ends, honestly. Character limit exceeded. That's what yeah, but it starts with a quotations, and then a ... and nothing more. It just ends right there. But okay, that's fine. Let's say number 2, February 10th, 2 days later, 2024. From plea to persecution, the harsh reality of my appeal for justice. Oh, this is what me and Shay read. Okay. On June 22nd, 2024, just 4 days after the paternity ruling that triggered the referral of my case to her office, County Attorney Rachel Mitchell was photographed smiling next to a Justice for Clayton member, holding a letter that explicitly called for my prosecution. The letter was part of a coordinated international campaign aimed at pressuring her office to file charges against me. She looks pressured, Laura, for sure. She looks super pressured. How do you know what's in that letter? How do you know what's in that letter? I mean, granted, maybe you guys do know. Oh, yeah, no, she's right. That letter is calling for my persecution. But to be fair, it could just be like a Denny's gift card in there. You don't know what she could have won that at the potluck. You don't know what's in that letter. Very dramatic. May 7th, 2025. Press release from Laura Owens. As someone who has never been charged with a crime in my life, how's that working out for you now? Just asking.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
As someone who has never been charged with a crime in my entire life, I am stunned by the 7 felony charges announced against me by the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. I thought I was reading them in order, Jade. It was number 4. Hold on. No, I would love to read it out. I thought I was reading it in order. Hold on. So I started with 1, 2, and then I'm on 2024, 1, 2. I'm on 2. Am I not going in order? I'm going in the order it has. It's in medieval times, Laura. It's not all about you, Laura. Okay, if I can't rely on the date, though, I will have no idea. I see the dates, Jade. That one was said February 2nd, 2024. Like at least the one I clicked. This one, from plea to prosecute. See? Maybe it's labeled wrong. Well, no, because it does say May 7, 2025. So I know that appears like that would be in the future. I'm not sure why. Here, let me skip past this one if this one seems like it's out of order, and we'll circle back to it. Let me just write that down on the Post-it. Or knock all of my shit over. One or the other. We could do both. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Where's my pen? Here it is. Okay. Circle back to 2024, number 2. Plea to prosecution. Okay, we'll come back to that. From miscarriage to mockery. Oh, at least she's consistent theme. You know, how she likes to title it. Okay. From miscarriage to mockery. Today marks a day that has loomed heavy on my heart for the last 9 months. It was supposed to be my due date. Oh, so it's February 14th. It was supposed to be my due date, but there was no promise of joy this morning. No anticipation. Only the profound weight of sorrow and an unmistakable feeling of loss. The journey through miscarriage is in itself a path paved with heartbreak and the silent mourning of dreams that will never come to fruition. Yet my own path has been uniquely tormented. A narrative twisted and turned grotesque by the hands of strangers online. Shockingly, the would-have-been father has fueled this torment, appearing in a shirtless Instagram post today, grinning from ear to ear, gleefully proclaiming, "You know, in a parallel universe out there, someone's giving birth to twins today, but not this one." Cruel, insensitive, heartless, immature, and irresponsible are just a few of the words that came to mind when I saw what he posted. Pause. Why are you looking? Why are you looking? I could tell you something Clayton Echard had never come up in my feed before. I never went looking for him, so I would have no idea what he posted prior to this. Why are you looking at his posts on a daily basis, on a day that you're mourning the alleged loss of your twins? Why are you going out of your way to go to social media and check what he's doing? Come on, girl. I see you. His public denial of sexual intercourse last May, despite his actions of purchasing a pregnancy test last June, insisting I take it in his presence, and it coming back positive, adds a layer of surreal betrayal to my grief. He now parades a narrative that denies the very possibility of conception, claiming there were only 2 instances of oral sex, combined with a lot of naked grinding over the course of a night we spent together at his apartment. His outward facade, a stark contradiction to reality, has turned my life into a spectacle, obliterating my reputation and painting me as the architect of a fictitious pregnancy. Some of his fans have positioned themselves as the arbiters of truth, distorting my life into something unrecognizable, with hundreds of thousands now convinced they know more about what happened that night than the 2 of us who lived it. The narratives paint me not as a grieving would-be mother, but as some sort of con artist in a twisted drama of their own making. No, no, that's definitely not how you're viewed. Where would they get that from? Come on. This period has been the darkest of my life, not just because of the profound loss, but also for the stark, unyielding cruelty I've encountered. She's gonna be up to some bullshit today because I sense this triggering her so hard, read one comment. A reminder of the glee some find in another's despair. It's a level of empathy so absent, so foreign, that it's hard to believe these words come from fellow human beings. In the aftermath of my loss, while some platforms on the internet have been abuzz with discussion, not a single message of genuine concern. "I'm so sorry," or "How are you holding up?" has reached me from beyond my immediate circle of friends and family. Instead, I've been met with a barrage of venom from those who's never looked into my eyes, nor heard my voice break recounting this loss. Yeah, that's because you made sure your face was not in frame at the court hearing and we could only look into the moon bump. Girl, maybe we could have looked into your eyes if it was in fucking frame, but instead we looked at the lack of belly button there was on that obnoxiously ridiculous moon bump you were rubbing. But do go on. Death threats, a horrifying testament to the cruelty that thrives under the cloak of anonymity, have become a terrifying reality from people who have never spoken nor met me. Compassion, it seems, is a rarity. The content creator I have written about in my previous essays today called the would-have-been father's Instagram story brilliant and said he absolutely loved it. Again, why are you looking, Laura? He and his followers seem driven by a dark desire to see me broken. They don't want to see me simply defeated, but destroyed. For some inexplicable reason, they refuse to believe I was pregnant, despite my having ample medical evidence to prove it. This individual, someone I've never met, has produced hundreds of hours of content, claiming to be an authority on my life based on skewed narratives and outright lies. His eagerness to turn my life into a documentary, to sell my story to the highest bidder, is a testament to his apathy. He shrugs off my threats of a defamation lawsuit as empty, but they are anything but. His actions have not only caused irreparable damage, but have also highlighted a grim reality. Without the lure of money, my story, my pain, would mean nothing to him. Amidst this daily battle, he and his fans know that I've been pushed to the edge, forced to question my very will to continue through another day, another hour, another minute. The fact that individuals can continue to bully someone they know have been vulnerable to the point of considering suicide is a reflection of a deep sickness within our online culture. The ignorance and cruelty of the content creator and his followers has compelled me to make a solemn vow to rise each day with a resilience forged from the depths of my suffering, to carry the memory of my pregnancy as a testament to my enduring spirit, not as a burden that weighs me down. They seem to crave a tragic end to this saga, a final act of despair that I refuse to give them. I don't need your validation or your belief in the truth of my pregnancy. The reality of my experience doesn't hinge on public scrutiny or online verdicts. I was pregnant, and as I navigate the remnants of this heartache, know that skepticism holds no power here. This story, my story, doesn't seek approval nor invite judgment. This isn't just another essay that wraps up neatly, tied with a bow of moral lessons or inspirational platitudes. It's the raw, unfiltered truth of a woman who was about to become a mother and then suddenly wasn't. It's about the pain of that loss and the added pain of being judged, doubted, and attacked by people who saw my deepest sorrow as an opportunity for entertainment, scorn, or judgment. It's about still standing in the aftermath of a tragedy that was made all the more unbearable by the cruelty of those who forgot how to be kind. This, and I'm sorry for anyone out there who has struggled from a miscarriage. Yeah, it is an essay for sure. But I could imagine how triggering it must be to have her not only try to describe what it's like to experience something like that, but to be straight up lying about it. Oh. How many of these did she do? Oh, goodness, a lot. Okay. When judge plays doctor, girl, you need to stop while you're ahead of time. Ignoring 99.9% medical certainty for 0.1% doubt. No, you didn't. You need to take a seat. You need to take all the seats.
Any objection? All objections.
I'm excited for this one. Okay. And thank you all for being here. Take a second, hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. I appreciate every single one of you. Sorry, whoever may have come in while I'm reading. Hello, hello. I see all of you guys here. Thank you for being here. Let's do it. When judge plays doctor, ignoring 99.9% medical certainty for 0.1% doubt. Look at how, sorry, look at how dramatic this is. I filed a paternity She has like NK vibes going on here. I filed a paternity case and tried to dismiss it after suffering a miscarriage. Now, nearly 6 months after my motion was denied, the family court judge is sending my case to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office for review. Damn well. Damn right. As she should. As she should. On June 18th, the court ruled that a pregnant woman, sorry guys, I struggle saying woman in a singular form. I don't know why. So I keep doing woman because I don't know why. It all comes out as woman for me. On June 18th, the court ruled that a pregnant woman cannot be considered pregnant unless a judge agreed she is. That is not what they ruled, girl. That is not. Were you there? We watched it. I know you were there. How are you walking away with that? You need to knock that shit off. Yes, you read that correctly. Apparently, in a twist of medical and judicial logic, it is now up to the courts, not doctors, to diagnose pregnancy. Despite medical evidence and a 99.9% certainty from an OBGYN who has delivered more than 22,000 babies that I was pregnant, Judge Mata chose to believe the 0.1% chance that my multiple positive pregnancy tests were due to something other than pregnancy. To add insult to injury, she has referred me to the Maricopa County Attorney for prosecution. Yeah, you also read that correctly. The ruling came just hours after we notified her of our intention to file a notice for change of judge for cause due to suspected judicial misconduct. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. Judge Mata's father was present during the trial. Sorry. What does that mean? Wait, why couldn't Papa be there? The trial is open to the public. How is her father? How is her father an issue? Okay. Judge Mata's father was present during the trial, which, while not illegal, raises serious concerns. Do tell us how so, Laura. He came to the hearing and sat with the opposing side, the Justice for Clayton cult, even allegedly commenting to them that he was, quote, here for the shit show. Sorry, but Judge Mata wasn't like the youngest lady, you know, she was middle-aged, so her father would have been like an older gentleman. And if he came in, and first of all, he has to sit on one side, come on. But if he really did turn to someone and he said, then I'm imagining like the old guy from Up, you know, like, I'm here for the shit show. Maybe he was a follower. That doesn't mean that he's spoken to his child about it. That's great. The dad was watching in the overhead room and she got wind of it and tried to use it for a mistrial. Jeez. Okay. So Papa's here for the shit show. In an email sent to Judge Mata's division, my attorney, David Gringras, wrote, quote, Miss Owens has obtained a video of at least one person making these claims, and that person claims to have directly communicated with Judge Mata's father about this matter. If this claim is true, Miss Owens believes this may warrant a change of judge for cause pursuant to Family Law Rule 6.1. David requested a direct response from Judge Mata to verify these claims by 5 p.m. the following day. When we planned to file our concerns with the Commission on Judicial Conduct, instead of answering his questions, she rushed to deliver her ruling, where she sided almost entirely with Clayton. This rushed decision reeked of a desperate attempt to secure her judgment before we could escalate the challenge to her impartiality. The ruling defies logic, medical evidence, and even Clayton's own version of what happened on the night of our one-night stand last May. 1. If he truly believed that what happened between us that night couldn't have resulted in my pregnancy. Why did he invite me over under false pretenses to take a pregnancy test he bought himself in his presence, which came back positive? This kind of deception is considered fraud because he intentionally misled me. If she had some nerve, so Clayton inviting you over to take a pregnancy test is considered fraud. Laura. Two, after the test turned positive, why did he admit that he would say anything to convince me to have an abortion? Such manipulation is a form of coercion, as he was trying to pressure me into making a decision against my will. Since he's so eager to have me reported to the Maricopa County attorney, I guess I will be reporting him for those prosecutable offenses as well. Good luck. 3, and why did he later claim, quote, if it ends up being my child, I've decided that either you'll take 100% custody or it will be put up for adoption, end quote. Extreme gaslighting. It's a thing. You gaslit him to the point where he was questioning his own reality. And there's nothing worse than being gaslit to that point where you start to question yourself. 4, and in case you're wondering, I didn't try to trap Clayton. He even admitted himself that he wanted to have sex with me, but that I didn't want to sleep with him. So you blew him twice and allowed him to rub his nuts and berries up against you for hours, as you described earlier? Apparently, Bruce. I had positive urine and blood pregnancy tests done at medical facilities, which Clayton's side had official copies of after I signed a HIPAA waiver. Judge Mata noted both parties agree the test was positive. So why did her ruling punish me? It goes back to the 0.1% chance that Judge Mata chose to believe that my positive pregnancy tests were due to something other than pregnancy. That's because you never provided any proof that you indeed were pregnant outside of those positive pregnancy tests. She speculated that horse tranquilizers could cause a positive HCG test. That was your attorney, actually. But okay. A claim that was not supported by any evidence. Seriously? Google says it's not true. Although I have openly admitted to using ketamine treatment, which can be used as a horse tranquilizer in a medical office for depression in the past, I haven't had that treatment in years. It's not uncommon nor something I am ashamed of. This baseless speculation further highlights the judge's willingness to grasp at straws to undermine my case. Hey, froggies. She went even further to try to diminish my credibility by claiming that my HCG levels could be from a prior history of ovarian cancer. Bitch, First of all, is she taking what the judge said or what counsel argued and threw out there? Because I don't recall the judge ever saying, now granted, I didn't go through her official ruling on the court document, so please tell me if it does say that, but this is what counsel was essentially going back and questioning witnesses about, not Judge Mata. She stated, petitioner has a history of ovarian cancer that prompted the surgical removal of her right ovary. That's what you said. Oh my God. This is an outright falsehood. Thankfully, I have both ovaries and I've never had cancer. She also questioned whether I had taken HCG trigger shots despite having no proof, and for good reason. I hadn't. I read in your and Mike's, when I went through their timeline, you absolutely stated you had ovarian cancer and a lack of a right ovary. Okay, Jade, I'll definitely have to read it. God, I'm just bouncing all over the place. I can't kind of follow through and be consistent with this case. I'm just like jumping here to here to here to here. When I found out I was pregnant, I was lost and I didn't know what to do. My depression worsened, making it nearly impossible to think clearly or make decisions. Bitch, you were writing up contracts. What do you mean? What do you mean? You were amending said contracts, updating them. What do you mean you couldn't think clearly or make decisions? You were trying to sign legal paperwork regarding sex and date life. In the ruling, the judge wrote, quote, "The court finds failure to seek in-person care for a high-risk pregnancy to be both unreasonable and uncreditable. This cold assessment ignored the severe depression I was grappling with, which made every moment of my pregnancy an emotional battlefield." Oh, that's new to me. Never, because as far as we understood from watching that trial, you did seek treatment, right? And you did get a sonogram done, but you're just not telling us where. Now it's turned into, well, I had severe depression, and so you're not taking that into account. You had the wherewithal, you had the ability to blow Clayton up 50 billion times a day, though. You couldn't seek an appointment, seek treatment, but you stated you were getting treatment. In all honesty, the medical care choices I made weren't what I would have chosen in ideal circumstances. If this had been an expected pregnancy, I would have definitely sought proper care. But the circumstances were far from ideal, and the way Clayton treated me was horrible and terrible, leading to a restraining order being granted against him. I'm sorry, you found out like a week after being pregnant, allegedly. You had all the time in the world to go and get treatment. How many of us have gotten pregnant unexpectedly, not planned? And we absolutely still followed through with getting prenatal care. What the fuck kind of excuse is that? The judge's opinion on what a reasonable person would have done doesn't take this into account, nor does it recognize the immense pressure I was under. He was under pressure. Judge Mata then claimed that I have a pattern of similar, if not identical, behavior and referred the case to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office for review. Really? This was the first and only paternity case I have filed. The legal issues involving two of my exes were entirely different. Yes, I was pregnant by both and I had abortions, but the legal matters were unrelated to paternity. With one, it was a restraining order for stalking and violence. With the other, it was a civil case for abortion coercion and an order of protection for cyber stalking, which he never contested. Girl, this is too much. This is too much. Hi, Salty Veruca. Yep, such a pattern that now you have 14 felony counts. And more coming, hopefully. And of course, both of these exes have jumped on the justice for Clayton bandwagon, flagrantly violating the protection orders I have against them. They want revenge on me and see this as their chance. They're now part of this cult-like group who has wholeheartedly embraced them as my victims, trying to smear my reputation and get their orders reversed. Judge Mata, by claiming that my behavior is the problem in the Clayton case, is essentially siding with my two exes and accepting their false narratives as truth, despite having no knowledge of what actually happened with them. She doesn't seem to grasp the differences, and by putting it writing in a ruling, it doesn't seem like she cares. She stated, quote, "The petitioner's actions amount to a misuse of the legal system, warranting further investigation. Misuse of the legal system. Arizona law 25-806 clearly permits paternity cases to be initiated during pregnancy without any prerequisites. Her ruling suggests that any woman who files a paternity case can be punished if the court arbitrarily decides not to believe her, regardless of the medical evidence. The overreach didn't stop there. She allowed one of them to appear in court despite a clear and valid California CLETS domestic violence restraining order against him. This decision blatantly violated federal law. The Violence Against Women Act, VAWA, mandates that protective orders issued in one state must be honored in another, and she had no right to override such orders without the issuing court's consent. Additionally, there was no valid subpoena, and his attorney had already said he wasn't going to appear. Her actions not only disregarded the law, but also put me in a significant emotional distress. She tried to justify this by stating that, quote, the judicial branch security will ensure the safety of all parties while at the Northeast facility. A completely unacceptable and illegal dismissal of the protective orders authority and my legal protections. And why did he need to be a witness for a 2023 paternity case when I hadn't even seen him in 2018? My goal was to find an amicable solution without involving the courts. In July, an effort to resolve things privately, I spent $5,000 for an attorney to act as a mediator between me and Clayton. That didn't work out. Yeah, why didn't that work out though, Laura? Because one of the simple things that mediator asked you to do was, hey, why don't you call the office that you got a sonogram at, put it on speaker, and just ask them to confirm you did indeed go in and get a sonogram performed there. So Clayton can hear and his paranoia can be at ease. No, you wouldn't do that, right? You wouldn't do that, Laura. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do something as simple as that if you were going to hire a mediator, $5,000 attorney? Come on, Laura. I chose not to continue with a lawyer when I filed the case pro se on August 1st of last year because all I wanted was for the judge to force Clayton to take a paternity test, which the mediator didn't have the power to do. That meant that from the time the case was initiated to December, when it was placed on the dismissal calendar, neither of us had any legal fees. When I was confirmed to no longer be pregnant, I took no further action. Oddly enough, once the case was on the dismissal calendar, Clayton decided to hire counsel for the first time. When I tried to dismiss the case, his side refused, and Judge Mata agreed with them. Now I'm being held responsible for his legal fees from December to present day, which are purportedly over $100,000. She took it one step further, even ruling that I am liable for fees accrued before he had an attorney, stating, quote, the petitioner is liable for the respondent's cost incurred prior to obtaining legal counsel. Huh? What fees did he have before he hired a lawyer? Amidst all this madness, there is a small victory that no one seems to be talking about. Judge Mata upheld the order of protection I have against Clayton. Okay. Judge Mata upheld it. The decision was based on the preponderance of evidence that Judge Duty initially found warranted its issuance. Despite Clayton's loud claims of a total win, this restraining order is crucial because it explicitly prevents him from, quote, communicating or posting untrue or harassing comments online and causing others to communicate or post untrue or harassing comments regarding me. Yet he is actively breaking this order and citing his followers against me. Good luck with that. My lawyer predicted the outcome of the case since Judge Mata had consistently ruled against me on every motion filed from the very beginning. David knew we would have to appeal, and he's confident that her decision will get overturned. But the emotional toll this ordeal has taken on me is immeasurable. The stress, the anxiety, and depression have been unbearable, and exacerbated by a system that seems intent on breaking me. For Judge Mata's father and Clayton's supporters, apparently my suffering is just a spectacle. At the end of the day, I can't help but wonder, would the judge have allowed this to go on for months and months if Clayton and I were unknown and poverty-stricken? Would her father have shown up and sat with Clayton's side if he weren't a former ABC Bachelor? Judge Mata's ruling appears to be driven by the high-profile nature of the case and Clayton's minor celebrity status. It appears to say that filing a paternity case while pregnant, which again is allowed in Arizona law, then attempting to dismiss it after losing the pregnancy is, quote, acting unreasonably when initiating litigation without basis or merit. This precedent suggests that a woman can be punished for circumstances beyond her control. Should the tragedy of a lost pregnancy be met with legal retribution? Here's another scenario. In Maricopa County alone, approximately 25% of paternity cases filed each year result in the alleged father being excluded as the biological parent. This means thousands of women actually file paternity cases where DNA tests later prove the man is not the father. Are we seriously suggesting that these women should be sanctioned, forced to pay attorney's fees, and denied the ability to dismiss their cases? Is being wrong truly fraud? The court's mission is to seek truth and ensure justice, not to penalize women for genuine errors or the devastation of a miscarriage. She knows what trigger words and stuff to use. I am being punished and threatened with the possibility of criminal charges for a case I was fully entitled to bring forward. This ruling sends a terrifying message. Any woman who files a paternity case can be prosecuted if she has a miscarriage, attempts to drop the legal proceedings, and the court arbitrarily decides not to believe she was pregnant in the first place, regardless of the evidence, even though Arizona law has no prerequisites for filing a paternity case. I had more proof of pregnancy than many other women whose files these, with multiple positive tests taken at medical facilities and acknowledged by Judge Mott herself. But apparently, it doesn't matter what your doctors say, only what your judge thinks. Oh, she knows how to manipulate. She does. She knows how to manipulate. Right, Boots. Oh my goodness. It's just getting worse and worse. Look at that lip gloss. I have a feeling. No, I shouldn't say it. Never mind. I'll keep it to myself. I don't have to share everything. Don't tell me I wasn't abused. You weren't there. Oh God. Listen, this is how, all right. I don't want to. I understand it could be triggering for anyone who has struggled with TV. Trust me, I get it. But I do not believe Laura. I do not believe Laura. I guess I'll keep the comments to myself. Are those whiteheads on her nose? Or just 3 like white freckles? I don't know why they're so prominent, but I don't trust a damn thing. I don't trust a damn thing. Is she in the shower? What is that? Is that a micro like hook? Like, what is that? How small is that hook? What's that hook used for? You, the online cult of justice for Clayton, have twisted my life into your grotesque narrative, turning my truth into your lies and painting men I used to date who I have restraining orders against as martyrs. You gather around hashtags, Reddit threads, and Twitter feeds, hell-bent on destroying me and dismissing my reality, especially what happened between me and my ex from 2016 to 2017. What is it? A rope hook for a fucking, what is this? A center for ants? It's like the tiniest thing, at least relative to how big she looks in the photo. Howdy, Glory. Yeah, the one I got a domestic violence restraining order against in 2018, which was renewed in 2020 until 2025. The one you claim wasn't violent, one of the ones you call my victim, I'm over it. Really. Just today, I saw a tweet saying, hashtag Laura Owens has falsely accused multiple men. You act like you have some inside knowledge of my life. Let me be clear. Don't tell me I wasn't abused. You weren't there. I know, you're probably right, TX Packet. I know. You spend your days scrutinizing every aspect of my life, trying to ruin me. You act as if you have the right to judge me, to question my integrity, to label me a liar. You weren't there when I dated him in 2016 and 2017. You didn't hear the threats. You didn't feel the fear. You have no idea what it felt like to have your self-esteem crushed to nothing by his words. You don't understand the intense self-hatred I felt for not valuing myself enough to leave. He made me feel like I was worthless. Don't tell me I wasn't abused. You weren't there. I'm seeing a reoccurring theme going here. Every time I see the venomous rhetoric for justice for Clayton, I am transported back to the worst moments of my life. You weren't there when I was hiding bruises. You weren't there when I was crying myself to sleep. You weren't there when, at the end, his mother left me countless voicemails begging me to call her back and stay with him. You weren't there at the end of 2017 when I was desperately seeking a way out. I stayed on the East Coast for weeks, trying to leave the relationship slowly so as to not upset him. Don't tell me I wasn't abused. You weren't there. She's getting all Junie B. Jones on us, man. I can't. Trying to fucking create little haikus written in this shit. Woo. Look, I know how he comes off at first. Of course I do. I was with him for 4 hours. That's how you see him. And obviously, that's why I fell for him. He seemed sweet, kind, and loving. A teddy bear, as you called him. But that's not who he is, okay? I blew him twice. He suffocated me. Oh, no, sorry, we're not talking about Clayton. Sorry, I'm getting my men mixed up now. He suffocated me with a pillow to the point of being unconscious, strangled me regularly, slapped me, left me with bruises, and you call him innocent? You weren't there. He made me feel less than human. He lied about everything. Don't tell me I wasn't abused. What is it? Is this the court? Oh, yeah, that has to do with her TEDx talk. Got it. Bitch, shut up. Chicken soup for the soul. This girl has done so much, man. Dear Justice for Clayton Cole, let's talk about your too honest leader. Dear Justice for Clayton Cole, that's you. That's you guys in the chat, right? Oh, come on. Don't glitch again. Come on. Hold on. Stop. Stop. Don't. Chill out. Hold on. Okay. No, not okay. Again, hold on. Why does it do this? And I don't know how to stop it. Mm. One second. Let me see if I could try to do it like this. You weren't there. Don't tell me. Yes. No. No, it's still fudge. Okay. Just gotta do a little switcheroo. Okay. Dear JFC cult, let's talk about Honest Abe. Clayton. You chant, he has never lied to us, and he's too honest. Meanwhile, because I've admitted to lying in the past, never about being pregnant, you invoke falsus in uno, falsus in omnibus? If I lied once, I must be lying about everything. You said it. You said it, not us. Okay, just saying. That's your words, Laura. You treat me like I'm Pinocchio while conveniently ignoring that your saint hasn't been a beacon of truth. Yet you don't hold him to the same standard because he has never lied, right? Wrong. Let's set the scene, shall we? Imagine you're excited about diving into real estate investing. You've spent a year studying Pace Morby's methods, finally building up the confidence to invest. You reach out to an agency you find on Instagram that specializes in seller financing, not to work with any specific person, but because they understand your goals. You don't hear back for a month. You still haven't found a realtor to do this with, and you're scrolling around for one. Then you see that someone named Clayton Echard is tagged with the company you reached out to a few weeks prior. You check out his LinkedIn and decide to send him a message to see if he can help. He writes back and says he can. We had a long call, and Clayton seemed like a perfect fit for an agent. He grasped my investment goals, knew the kind of properties that would turn into profitable short-term rentals. I trusted him to guide me through my first couple of purchases. I was excited, optimistic, and ready to conquer the world. Now, imagine trusting him with $1.1 million in offers for 2 investment properties. Proof of funds? Check. Signed contracts? Check, check. The thrill and anticipation are real. I don't trust her. Because even when they ask about that in court, she's like, oh, no, like those are combined incomes and I don't have that money. So if you guys know more about that, please let me know. Hey, my fellow Melissa. Forgery. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they could easily prove that that's not the case, Jade. Selling financials means can't qualify for a mortgage without a bank. Yeah. Okay. May 24th, 2023. Clayton writes up the offers on 2 properties and has me sign them. They are set to expire the next day. He assures me everything's good to go. Laura to blank and Clayton. Hi, John. My name is Laura Owens, and I apologize for the late email, but wanted to check in regarding the status of my offer on 7. I have been trying to get an answer from my realtor, Clayton Echard, about if the offer expired or was accepted, but I have not heard back. If it was, I have every plan to move forward and take the next steps to close the deal. And I didn't want you to think I was not interested. Please let me know. Thank you. All the best. Oh, guys. Okay. Because this is May 25th. So she immediately, within days, was trying to get him hooked onto. Yeah. You try to get him in trouble, right? You had your night, and then he's probably backing out. Listen, I don't want to do that again. It was unprofessional. And within 5 days, she is CCing him on and doing these emails, trying to get him in trouble. Almost at 10 o'clock at night. May 25th, 8 o'clock. According to what Clayton made me sign, the offers have officially expired. Meanwhile, he hasn't responded to my messages asking if they were accepted. May 25th, 9:49 p.m. Growing anxious, I emailed John, the agent for one of the sellers, to check my offer status. He says he never got an offer from Clayton. Cue heart sinking. Cue panic attack. Now she shows her messages to Clayton and John. An offer. I didn't receive an offer from you or Clayton. Oh my. Can you please explain what he's talking about? You never sent in the offer you said you did? Clayton, if you can't answer me on 7609 North Lynn Oaks, please connect me with your broker to ask him what happened and what the status is. Oh, God, it was probably immediate. Clayton, connecting you with John, who just sent me this. Can you please confirm that you saw this? Wow. May 26, 6:54 a.m. I texted Clayton asking him to explain why John hadn't received an offer. I said, can you please explain what he's talking about? You never sent in the offer. You said you did. No response. 9:18 a.m., frustrated and desperate for answers, I texted Clayton again. Clayton, if you can't answer me on address redacted, please connect me with your broker to ask him what happened and what the status is. Crickets. P.S. Remember when he said I refused to work with his broker? Who's Pinocchio now? Who's Pinocchio now? May 26th, 1:48 p.m. I forwarded the email from John, the seller's agent, to Clayton, writing, Clayton, connecting you with John, who just sent me this. Can you please confirm that you saw this? We need to get moving on this, as I would like to proceed with the purchase. Silence. Imagine this was your money, your new venture, no updates, no communication, no idea if you just bought properties with over $1 million. You'd all be fine with that, right? Cue the JFC crew furiously racking their brains trying to come up with the reasons why I was wrong and Clayton was right. If you were in my shoes and being honest, you'd be furious. Ma'am, you threw out the right to be furious the moment you sucked his dick. And I'm sorry, not to be grotesque, but the moment that you engage sexually with him, that professional relationship's gone. Gone. It's gone. That's on you now. You shouldn't have been fucking around with over $1 million, which we both know that's a lie. But even if that were the case, you weren't thinking of that when it's dick's in your mouth. Welcome, Kathy. Hi, Clicker. Yeah, and that's what it seems like. Like, first of all, the offer clearly was bullshit, but he had a right if he was uncomfortable and he realized, hey, things cross the line. I don't want to. And apparently he did express that the next day. That's fair. But Laura didn't do the reasonable thing and, oh, okay, listen, we fucked around. I got to take this to someone else. Ah, boots. Okay. Wait, now where am I? If you were in my shoes and being honest, you'd be furious. You'd demand answers and accountability. You'd be 100% entitled to feel that way and to escalate the situation. After reviewing my complaint against Clayton, the Arizona Department of Real Estate concluded that his failure to submit the offers was a violation of Article 11 Professional Conduct R4-28-1101. It's documented. It's real. Then Clayton has the audacity to claim on a major podcast that I wasn't serious about buying property. Come on, Clayton. You know better than that. Not long after I made the offers with him, I bought an investment home using, drumroll please, the same very seller financing methods I told him I wanted to use. Wow, guess I was serious all along. To wrap up the real estate saga, let's address the letter I sent to Clayton during our paternity case. Here's an excerpt. In lieu of immediate litigation, I propose an alternative resolution contingent upon your stipulation to dismiss FC 2023-052114 Owens versus Echard forthwith and to mutually agree to forbear from any future legal actions against each other for any claims. This proposition is tendered in a spirit of amicable dispute resolution and to mitigate further legal entanglements. Bitch, you were trying to save your own ass. This was a reasonable settlement offer, not extortion. Extortion is the practice of obtaining something through force or threats. I was offering a settlement to avoid further legal conflict, standard practice in legal disputes. Based on the findings of the Arizona Department of Real Estate, I was well within my rights to propose such an agreement. I was essentially saying, let's end this amicably. Agree to drop the current case, and I won't sue you for your real estate misconduct so that we can both move on with our lives. Cue the JFC crew pounding on their keys as fast as they can to scream why I was wrong. Don't take my word for it. Listen to his version of events yourself at this YouTube link. Clayton was questioned by my former attorney in the deposition. Isn't it also true that when my client asked you if there had been a response in relation to those two offers, that you doubled down on your lie and told her you hadn't heard back yet? Yes. So you again lied to my client. Well, I hadn't heard back. That's truthful. Because you never sent the offers. Correct. But let's be real. This won't change your mind. Because Clayton can do no wrong in your eyes, just like I can do no right. Because as my attorney and friend David Gringus says, because you're a cult. P.S. I know you'll say I'm out of control because I dared to speak out this week and multiple times. The nerve. First insult will be, wait for it. Must be a crazy weekend in the casita. It's been very nice so far. Thanks for asking. I got up early, worked out with my sister, rode 2 horses, and now I'm standing up for myself. The truth is, this is the first time I felt empowered in months. You've all had voices, and it's time you heard mine. P.S. Total letdown for the JFC crew who think Judge Mata's decisions are the final nail in my coffin. Spoiler alert, they're not. The truth, David and I couldn't be more confident that Judge Mata's ruling will not stand. Until then, go back to watching small-time lawyers moonlighting as law tubers, trying to monetize their channels with a built-in audience of JFCers. They're playing you like a fiddle, telling you exactly what you want to hear, that I have no case for appeal. Why? Because it makes them money. If I offered to pay them double what they're making now to present my side, I bet they'd take it. XOXO. Gossip Girl. Dude. Oh, okay. This girl's too much, man. She's just too much. Let's do one more. Okay. When common sense is overruled, please, I can't, my brain's about to snap, honestly. I could do it. I could do one more. I could do one more. All right. Let me take a sip of my water. It does, Kathy. It does. She overshares, which a liar usually does. When common sense is overruled. Oh, that's a new one. I haven't. Video of my belly on October 25th, 2023. I haven't seen this one. And we got that standard wool in the back. Warpy looking lines. Okay. Okay. Oh my God, it was a jump scare. I am so sorry to wheeze in your ear, but I had not seen this photo before, nor did I expect to scroll down a bit and see her face like that. What is up with the hair? What is up with the hair? Because if you scroll, listen, you go from this, oh, cute, like you even try to make it look like a little heart, like, oh, like baby. And then I just like scroll a little bit down. I was like, mean muggin. What is that? What's up with your hairline? Wait, what is up with your hairline? Hold on. We got a little thing going here, a little swooperoo here, but then this hairline starts much farther back. Oh, George, you know what her hair looks like? All you girls or long-haired men out there, you ever in a pool and you flipped your hair over as a kid and you come up out of the water and then you flip it back and you look like George Washington era? That's what her hair is given for me. Oh, wait, why is it black? Are you not wearing a bra? Why are you? Hold on. Wait, why do you need to black out? I'm so confused. I have questions. Why do you need to black out the bra? Like, is your nipple popping through the bra? What is happening in this photo? What is happening? Okay. We're just gonna go. Yeah. I guess we'll go to the stomach now. That is Taco Bell, ma'am. Yeah, that looks like a normal Wednesday for me. There's something that looks weird. Yeah. It looks like my dad's beer gut. It doesn't look like a pregnant belly. You know what I mean? But I could tell you this, if that's October, and that is also the same October, we have your injunction against harassment hearing. You were much bigger, rubbing up on that moon bump. Yeah, that's a Chipotle burrito for Samantha. Like, it's that's just gluten, bitch. What are you talking about? But I can't with this block. This block that blocks nothing out anyway. Oh my God. Oh, you look miserable, girl. Like, I would look like that too if I was pushing that stomach out like that. And why are you wearing the same bra in this day where your nails are painted this color and your nails are not painted that color in this mean mug? Picture this. A glowing advertisement for pregnancy. Girl, no, listen, you've said a lot of lies, ma'am. Miss Ma'am, you have said a lot of lies. But to take this photo and the first thing you give me is a glowing advertisement for pregnancy tests, I do not agree. I do not look at this photo and think to myself, what a glowing advertisement for a pregnancy test. Not at all. No. I think of Senecot. You know what Senecot is? It's the medication you take to help poop because you look constipated. That's what I would go for, that type of advertisement. But okay. Picture this. A glowing advertisement for a pregnancy test. The suspense builds as a woman, eyes wide with hope, waits for those two magical lines to appear. The moment they do, her life transforms instantly. Tears of joy, uncontrollable laughter, and exclamations of, "We're pregnant!" fill the air. In a universal scene depicting the profound impact of a positive pregnancy test on those longing for a child. Now, flip the script. Imagine a teenager trembling as they reveal a positive pregnancy test to their parents. Is the response ever a casual, "It's no big deal, go back to your homework"? Absolutely not. This universal acknowledgement of the gravity of a positive pregnancy test is why companies like First Response, Clear Blue, EPT, and AccuClear thrive. The absurdity of the ruling. Oh, she full on pivots there. Okay. Judge Julie Ann Mata of Maricopa County Superior Court seems to think that a positive pregnancy test doesn't mean what the rest of the world thinks it does. She thinks it doesn't mean you're pregnant. Despite my providing the court with multiple at-home tests, a urine pregnancy test done at an urgent care facility, and even a blood test for pregnancy done at a lab, all of which come back positive. Judge Mata, in essence, dismissed all of this evidence as meaningless. In addition, a renowned OBGYN who delivered 22,000 babies in his career testified with 99.9% certainty that I was pregnant. Despite this, the judge decided to believe the 0.1% chance that I was testing positive for other reasons. She suggested possibilities such as ovarian cancer, which I've never had, medications I'm on, which the OBGYN expert confirmed wouldn't cause false positives, or HCG trigger shots, which I've never taken, and there was no evidence to suggest otherwise. If 99.9% certainty isn't enough, what is? I speak more about this in another piece I wrote called "When Judges Play Doctor." After a doctor confirmed that I had miscarried, there was no longer a need for the paternity case that I filed last August. I tried to dismiss it last December, which the judge granted, but then rescinded her ruling. After extensive motions were filed and a brief evidentiary hearing on June 10th, her ruling came down on June 18th. Sanctions, attorney fees, despite neither the alleged father nor I being represented by lawyers at the time, I filed to withdraw my petition to establish paternity. And a referral to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office for possible prosecution. Why? According to the ruling, petitioner acted unreasonably when she initiated litigation without basis or merit. Furthermore, the court found my actions unreasonable and uncredible due to my failure to seek in-person care for a high-risk pregnancy. Judge Mata even verified the positive pregnancy test multiple times as facts in her findings of fact. How is my filing the case without basis or merit or unreasonable? Furthermore, the ruling declared my petition premature at best, even though there are no set standards for what constitutes a premature petition in such cases. Girl, going to family court after a week when most women wouldn't even know that they were pregnant yet. Yeah, that's premature. The double standard. To fully grasp the injustice of this ruling, consider how Arizona typically handles paternity cases. According to the Arizona Revised Statutes 25-801, a mother can file a paternity case based on her belief of the pregnancy, and no additional evidence is required. You can file while you're pregnant, which I did. This clearly shows the state's supportive approach rather than a punitive one. The Arizona Division of Child Support Services, DCSS, website says, quote, if you are unsure of paternity, genetic testing may be needed to prove the identity of the father. DCSS will pay this cost until paternity is established. Wait, so a woman can think, might be this guy, but probably not. I can't really remember what we did, as many times as she wants to and not be punished? The state will even pay the cost of testing until she gets it right. So why am I being punished? Side note to members of the media, I will send you my patient portal login information so you can confirm for yourself that I was just in filing the case. Seriously. The backstory. Let's backtrack a bit. I had a one-night stand with former Bachelor star, Clayton Echard, who also happened to be my realtor. Interestingly, he was later found in violation by the Arizona Department of Real Estate for not submitting offers on 2 properties that he had me sign, totaling $1.1 million. But that's another story. I didn't want to become pregnant at all. I told him after he invited me to his apartment late one night in May of 2023 that I would come over to cuddle, but that I didn't want to have sex. Sorry, pause. You just met him. How old are you? Unless you're in high school, you're not going over just to cuddle. You think he wants you to come over so he could whisper sweet nothings in your ear and smell your hair? You were going over to fuck. He didn't want to fuck you, is what I'm guessing. A couple of weeks after the positive pregnancy test at an urgent care facility, Clayton again invited me to his apartment, this time under false pretenses, telling me he just wanted to talk. In reality, he wanted me to take a pregnancy test that he had bought in front of him. I took it, and it was positive. His reaction? Devastated. He leaned over his counter, head in his hands. This wasn't the behavior of someone who believed the test meant nothing. However, according to what Clayton said in his deposition, the box said it was a pregnancy test. And that's what they market it for people who are truthful and don't lie about being pregnant. That's true. It's an HCG test. Wait a minute. A pregnancy test that Clayton himself purchased gave a positive result, but it wasn't accurate because I was supposedly lying and the test somehow detected that? Makes sense. Why I filed the case. After Clayton saw the results for himself, he texted me the next morning to say that he knew I wasn't a liar. Then he made it clear that he had no intention of co-parenting, which is what I wanted. I wanted nothing from him besides that. No money, nothing. Just a plan to figure out scheduling because he said I would have to give up the pregnancy for adoption, have an abortion, or one of us would take 100% custody. Okay, here's the truth, Laura. Even if you were, you can't force him. He doesn't have to be involved. He's able to give up his rights. You should have focused more about, wow, you're pregnant and you're about to be a mom. You can't force the other person to engage if they don't want to. During his deposition earlier this year, he said, quote, I told her I'd give her a chance so that I could try to find a way to potentially end the situation. My former attorney then asked, you would give her a chance in regards to the two of you having a relationship? Clayton responded, yes, it was a lie. I had no intention of giving her a chance. I was just basically going to tell her what she wanted to hear to see if she'd go away. When pressed further by my former attorney, and what you mean by that is to see if she would move forward with an abortion, Clayton's reply was chillingly simple. Yeah. Why I went public with the case. I went public with the case because Clayton refused to respond to my repeated attempts to get him to take the prenatal paternity test. I had paid for the test on August 15th, but despite my efforts to schedule it, he never complied. and it had to be canceled. Also during his deposition, Clayton acknowledged the attempts to contact him for the paternity test, but suggested that they might have been calling a wrong number, although he was clearly CC'd on an email sent by me on August 18th stating, "Unfortunately, Clayton has refused to take the prenatal paternity test that I had scheduled at Exam 1 in Phoenix on Wednesday, August 23rd. He saw this email, but did not respond. After I went public, my suspicions were confirmed. The publicity compelled Clayton to respond. On September 21st, he shared the receipts on his Instagram, saying, quote, "This is the timeline. The truth will always set you free," in an effort to make it look like he had been cooperating all along. That was not the case. The high-profile influence. It seems clear to me that Judge Mata would not have allowed this case to go on if Clayton had not been a former Bachelor star. If we were both jobless and poverty-stricken, I have no doubt that she would have let me dismiss the case after I miscarried, which is what I asked for. Once I lost the pregnancy, there was no longer a paternity issue to resolve, and no parenting plan was necessary. But because Clayton had a high-profile status, Judge Mata seemed determined to drag this case out. Adding another bizarre twist to this ordeal, I later learned that Judge Mata's father attended the evidentiary hearing, allegedly mingling with Clayton's supporters in the overflow room and describing the case as a shit show and a circus. Well, it was. It's hard to comprehend that my pregnancy loss was reduced to a sideshow spectacle for anyone, let alone a member of the judge's family. Oddly enough, Judge Mata ruled against me just hours after my attorney, David Gringras, informed her office of our intention to file a notice for change of judge for cause. It seems too coincidental that such a ruling, almost entirely in Clayton's favor, would come within hours after we signaled our lack of confidence in her impartiality. Justice for Clayton and its influence. Soon after the public learned about the paternity case, the Justice for Clayton movement emerged online. Since September, thousands of hours of content from obsessed wannabe YouTube stars and law tubers have fueled a cult-like following on their monetized channels. These self-proclaimed defenders of Clayton have relentlessly attacked my character, questioning my motives and integrity. Their narrative paints me as a manipulative liar out to trap a celebrity who himself admits, "I don't want to sleep with him." The online attacks have put me through hell. Yesterday, one user even commented on content creator Dave Neal's Discord, quote, "Let her. See what the world knows about her and thinks about her. Think about worst, most embarrassing, horrible, shameful thing you've ever done. Then think about everyone watching it, talking about it, confirming it. Let her stay here and see what we think. And we know." Wait, pause. So you not only were monitoring what was being posted publicly, you were going into his Discord and observing and monitoring what people, that's on you. Again, like even if it was on the channel, you make the choice to go and look and see these comments, watch their videos, but going to a whole nother platform, and usually Discords are private. Sometimes they're public, but you have to have an account at least to get into it. That's on you. What do they know? None of them know what happened between me and Clayton, but refuse to accept the truth. I did not fake my pregnancy. The reality of my depression. After learning that I was pregnant, I was overwhelmed and unsure of what to do. The pregnancy was unplanned, and Clayton was far from supportive. This uncertainty took a massive toll on my mental health. I took prescribed prenatal vitamins and rested in bed most days, trying to take care of myself. Deep down, I didn't want to have an abortion, but I also feared a situation where the alleged father would have no involvement once I gave birth. I was hoping for clarity that never came. My doctor advised that I continue taking my antidepressants. Oh, you never listed that as something you were taking, even though they posed a risk during pregnancy because they were crucial for my mental stability. Essentially, I let nature take its course. Tragically, I eventually had a miscarriage. Despite my effort and the difficult circumstances, the judge labeled me uncredible and unreliable for not seeking prenatal care. She said that wasn't reasonable, but according to the Guttmacher Institute, nearly half of pregnancies in the United States are unplanned, and many women do not seek prenatal care until well into their pregnancies, if at all. Many can't afford prenatal care. Are these women not entitled to file a paternity case if they know they're pregnant and want to step up a parenting plan prior to giving birth? Judge Mata's ruling essentially says they are not. The baseless accusations. Judge Mata's ruling relied on what she termed a serial pattern of fabrications on my part. Let's be clear, I have never faked a pregnancy, and there is no proof that I did. My supposed serial issue, as she put it, is that I am 34 and I have been pregnant multiple times, had 2 miscarriages and 2 abortions. Now there's 4? Hold on. Who's the second miscarriage from? So she's been pregnant 4 times. 4 times. Okay. For this, I am being referred to a Maricopa County Attorney's Office and sanctioned, facing hundreds of thousands of dollars in attorney's fees. Judge Mata's ruling seems to be heavily influenced by Clayton's very public statement that I had faked pregnancies in the past, which was supported by 2 exes, both of whom I have restraining orders against. I also have one against Clayton. While they were supposed to be witnesses, neither of them ended up testifying in court. One of these exes, against whom I have had a California domestic violence restraining order since 2018, was permitted by Judge Mata to travel across state lines to testify about my 2023 pregnancy with Clayton. This ex, who had no relevant knowledge and only met Clayton the week of the hearing, had previously accompanied me to Planned Parenthood in 2016 to obtain abortion pills, proving the pregnancy was real, although he intended to testify otherwise. Judge Mata permitting my ex to come to Arizona for the evidentiary hearing in my case with Clayton is a clear violation of the Violence Against Women Act. According to the VAWA, no party shall be permitted to seek, to obtain, or otherwise enforce a subpoena issued by a court of one state in another state unless the court of the issuing state has reviewed the request and determined that it is necessary for the purposes of the case. Judge Mata ignored this legal requirement, unilaterally deciding he wasn't a threat to me and disregarding the legal protections in place and the trauma he had caused me. In 2021, I sued the other ex in civil court for abortion coercion. His protective order is up for renewal later this year, and he is undoubtedly trying to discredit me to prevent its renewal. He threatened to make my life a fucking living hell and has unfortunately made good on that promise. My attorney filed a notice to the court regarding the civil case to demonstrate that the judge in that case did not find I had fabricated the pregnancy. It had even been confirmed to this ex in a call with the doctor. Despite the lack of evidence and testimony, Judge Mata clearly accepted Clayton's allegations and those of my grudge-holding exes as true. Her actions suggest a disturbing bias, ignoring clear legal protections and allowing individuals with a history of violence and coercion against me to influence the court. An insane injustice. Judge Mata's ruling suggests that I should have taken those pregnancy tests, seen the positive results, been told by medical providers that I was pregnant, and understood that they meant nothing. Nothing at all. The absurdity of this notion is beyond comprehension, and it doesn't even feel like real life. There was no prerequisites for filing my paternity case, no requirement for ultrasounds, sonograms, or traditional prenatal care, yet the judge ruled that my pregnancy and subsequent miscarriage weren't real. In addition to photos and videos showing my pregnant belly, I had all the symptoms of pregnancy. I had the testimony of a renowned OBGYN who delivered 22,000 babies over his career, attesting with 99.9% certainty that I was pregnant. The devastating impact. My attorney is extremely confident that we will reverse the ruling on appeal, and while that might correct the legal wrongs, it can't erase this stain this ordeal has left on my life. Winning it won't erase the Google searches, the court documents, or the headlines. Until then, I've lost more than just a court case. I've lost my peace, my dignity, and my faith in humanity. The emotional toll is beyond words. I've spent countless nights awake, haunted by the weight of this nightmare, plagued by anxiety and fear, the constant public scrutiny, the whispers behind my back, the unrelenting judgment. They all cling to me, casting a long dark shadow over every aspect of my life. My every interaction is now tainted by this case. And why? Because Clayton's celebrity status as former bachelor likely swayed the court to take a keen interest in my case. Because strangers who are part of the Justice for Clayton cult have dedicated their lives to tearing mine apart, dissecting every detail of my life, spreading venomous hate, and creating such a frenzy that even the judge's father attended the hearing, allegedly calling it a shit show. Because the legal protections meant to safeguard me were blatantly ignored, all because a judge chose to believe the improbable over the undeniable. You know, I'll give to her she's good. Like, as ludicrous as it is, I'll even give to her she's good, like, at manipulating and reversing it. And I can see how she was able in some ways. I'm able to see how she was probably able to talk her way out of a lot of situations. But as far as like at the same time, and I see this a lot, she was so stupid. I don't know how she was able to get out of any situation, you know? This is no wonder she had to pull all these down. Clayton, in an interview with either Lauren or Megan Fox the other day, said there's a fifth victim whose name he just found out, but they want to be anonymous. Yeah. Yeah, she's good at deflecting, manipulating the narratives, but she also knows how to use those triggers, like the way that she's pulling in to Judge Mata scenarios of what other women may go through and say, oh, is that not okay now? You know, using the ruling in her case to deflect it onto potential other women's situations. Oh, I'm sure she did, Katie. I'm sure she turned men gay. Oh my God. But my mouth, like, it's probably more tired than Laura's was after she sucked Clayton's dick twice, because that was a lot of words, a lot of talking, and a lot of like bullshit I just had to read. So we'll stop there and I'll do the second half. Maybe we'll get the whole. Whoops, I heated myself out. I don't know how short the other ones are, but we'll probably could get it done on the second part if it's like a little bit of a longer live. I know. Well, I'm getting tired because it's just too much bullshit to read. It's too much bullshit to read on my own. But okay. So I'm going to stop it there. Maybe we'll do the other half tomorrow. But I also, like I said, I need to go through Greg's history. I want to go a little bit more into Mike's history because I just need the context for all this stuff. And I want to compare it because that's bizarre that she took him for abortion coercion. I'm not familiar with that at all. And it's going to be the first time I'm going to be looking into a case that is centered around abortion coercion. But yeah. All right. My brain's about to snap. Thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate it. You guys are the absolute best. And so I guess we will finish this shit show probably tomorrow. So I will see you guys all then. But I know Allie should be going live at 8:30 because that's her new time. So I'll drop the link for Allie's channel. So make sure you go over, subscribe if you aren't already. But I will see you guys over there shortly. So keep an eye out on Patreon also because we're going to be doing the Philadelphia experiment for the next Conspiracy Live, followed by Bohemian Grove with Tess, which I'm really excited for. So I will see you guys over at Allie's shortly.